What's up, people? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. IOBA. My name is TC, aka Johnny Clyde. And guess what? I went to the movies, just like I said I would, and checked out the Bob Marley biopic. Me and my wife went yesterday. And you know what? After having watched the shit, I gotta say this first. I gotta say this. Bob Marley's music ain't sounded so good. I ain't heard it sound that good since about 19, I want to say 82, 83, when I was bumping it real hard with my brand new stereo uh, that I bought from Radio Shack. I spent a lot of money back then. I spent about $2,000 on that stereo system. That's about, I want to say, about $5,000 in today's money. So it was a really, really high quality sound that I was getting. That's what I heard yesterday when I was at the movies, hearing his songs being played, in that dramatic surround sound. The music was great. The story itself and how they told it, they left out a lot of shit. I understand that, it was a movie and they have to keep it under a certain time, and a lot of scenes that probably would have told the story a lot better, they were deleted because, this, what I saw yesterday was just a tiny snippet of his life, And one main critique I might have is leading up to the I think it was called the One Love concert, where he held up Edward Seaga and Michael Manley's hand up in the air. They didn't show that scene or a scene like that, but in the concert they did show, felt kind of subdued or anticlimactic. When after he had got shot and everything and threatened and told not to do it and da 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 da. The actual concert scene that they showed him, it was kind of it was kind of subdued. It wasn't, all that. So that part. They touched on a little bit about, his early years because they kept flashing back to when he was a kid. And you'll see a little bit of a representation of Peter and Bunny, Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer. You'll see a little bit of a touch of them, but not enough, because you can make, if you know anything about Bob, if you know enough about Bob, like in his music, like I do. I mean, because I seen, I don't know how many documentaries. I said 3 or 4, but it's more like 5 or 6 documentaries. I read Catch a Fire twice. I read a couple of other biographies of Bob Marley. This is over the years, man. From 1979 when I first bought, 1979 or 1980 when I first bought a Bob Marley album, all the way up to now. I study all his stuff. And like I say, he had his human frailties and faults and everything, like any other great man. But he was bigger than any of that. And you can make several movies about Bob Marley, and no two of them would be the same. Because he had his life as an orphan child, not an orphan, but a child that nobody wanted, a little baby that nobody wanted. Well, his daddy didn't want him anyway. Growing up in the country in St. Anne's, to his relationship with Bunny Wailer, because what I learned back in the day was that Bunny Wailer and Bob Marley's relationship came about because Bob Marley's mother and Bunny Wailer's father was kind of dating, and they got together like that. That's what I remember reading about a long, long time ago. That's how he got to be friends with Bunny. They ain't show no relations. They mentioned Bunny and Peter when him and Rita was arguing, but they ain't show no, like I said, you can make a whole movie about that. How he became a superstar. His relationship with Lee Perry and all them other unscrupulous goddamn producers. his relationship with other bands that was around, their relationship as the Wailers with other bands that was around at the time. You know what I mean? There's so much more out there, man. And I ain't even getting into the part about his personal life with all of the women in his life. But they you can make a whole movie about that shit. You can make a lot of material. You could create a lot of material off that man's life. But what they did in the movie was protected his legacy, which is right, which is only right. Which is only right. And they kind of boiled it all down to that one period in his life where he almost got assassinated. Now, there's a school of thought out there, and I agree with it because I'm a conspiracy guy, that the FBI and the CIA tried to assassinate Bob Marley. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet that they did it. And then later on, when they weren't able to kill him, they came up with a more creative way to do it. Because there was an old FBI agent on his deathbed said that he was the one that did the hit. And he described how he did it. He put something in the sneaker, knew Bob was an athlete, gave him a brand new pair of sneakers. He put his foot in his sneakers, boom, damage was done. Don't you ever think that the FBI and the CIA wouldn't do such a thing, because they do it all the time. They do it all the time. Bob was loved by millions and followed by millions. And his music could have created a revolution that may have changed the paradigm. So, yeah, I can see why the FBI and the CIA had a file on him and did feel like he was a threat. So he had to go. I could see that happening. I could see FBI and CIA informants all around him. You know what I mean? Because that's what they was doing back then. You know what I mean? It was all over the Black Panthers and all over everything black. And they knew about guys like Bob Marley and guys activists coming up out the Caribbean. They knew they had been dealing with that since Marcus Garvey. So they knew about that kind of shit. So, yeah. I could see the FBI having something to do with his demise and them not putting anything about that in the movie, because otherwise the movie might not have gotten made. I don't see any of Bob Marley's many children trying to organize and be activists and trying to, inspire the masses the way Bob Marley did. I don't see any of his kids with that revolutionary spirit. Maybe they've been talked to, maybe they've been warned. I don't know. Don't get out here and get like your daddy did, and you know what happened to him. You know what happened to JFK, son. You know what happened. It'd be a shame for anything like that to happen to you. You just keep singing that happy shit, and you'll be all right. So yeah. Go see the movie. The music is good, but don't expect too much. Go see the movie. The music is good, but don't expect too much. You didn't see him go in depth about Bob Marley and his women. You heard him and Rita have an argument about it, and you have to read what you can from that. But in order to find out the real life of this man, you're gonna have to dig deep and go and find out for yourself through, digging through archival video and stuff like that. As far as the people coming out talking about they didn't understand the Jamaican dialect, I didn't have no trouble with that at all. Matter of fact, I thought it was kind of sanitized and cleaned up because they were playing to a worldwide audience, and they didn't want the shit to be too hard to understand. I think that anybody that went in there thinking and come out to I only understood half of it, they weren't fucking listening. Because to me, like I said, it was pretty easy to understand for me, I didn't have no problem understanding any of the dialects. So, and maybe, like I said, maybe it's coming from years and years and years and years of me being, into Jamaican music and into Rastafarian culture and stuff like that. So I didn't have a problem in that regard. I have been like in a room with two Jamaican women talking to each other and not being able to understand them. Excuse me. But as far as this movie goes, I had no problem understanding any of that. But like I said, I have a whole collection of Bob Marley's albums. But the one album that they featured, the Exodus album, bam, there it is. Is it upside down? No, there it is. Exodus. Right there. And I bought that album, back in the 1980s sometime. That's the original album right there. Yeah. That's the Exodus album. And I bought it. I'll just put it right there for now. I bought it, and I played the shit out of it. And I know every song on that motherfucker. Here's the Kaya album. The Bob Marley Kaya album. I'm not going to show you all my albums. But the very first album, reggae album that I bought was, First, I'm going to show you this one. This one is this Bob Marley Chances Are album. It's got some cuts on it that he made from, I want to say 1968 to 1972, just before the Catch a Fire album, which I do have in the room somewhere back there. But the very first reggae album I ever bought was this one. This one. Yep. Uprising album. I went with my girl Vicky. She wasn't my girlfriend. Well, she still had a nigga in the friend zone, but I broke out. But that's another story. That's a Johnny Clyde thing. But anyway, she was the one that hit me and told me which album to buy. So I grabbed this one. I brought it home. I played the first track on side 2, which is Coming In From the Cold. And that was the first reggae song that I played off an album that I bought with my own money back in 1980 or some shit. So yeah, and I've had these albums this whole time. Keep them inside this plastic. I have a collection of his stuff. And it changed my life. Listening to Bob Marley's music really, really did change my life in a very, very good and positive way. Yes, it did. How did it change your life, TC? It let me know that I was doing shit right, that I was not wrong in a lot of the ways I was thinking about, doing the right thing naturally and righteousness and all that type of stuff. It let me know that, yeah, I was on the right track. And it kind of gave me a foundation, you know what I mean, to grab from, it gave me a foundation, a purpose. I would play Bob Marley every Sunday morning, for sure. I play it all week. I play artists like, Gregory Isaacs. I play a lot of Peter Tosh. I play that Bunny Whaley. Gotta get that Bunny in there. I played a lot of old school dance hall. You know what I'm saying? I played a lot of Dennis Brown, all that stuff during the week. Many other artists during the week. But on Saturday and Sunday, especially on Sunday, I played Bob Marley. Loudly. And when I played that music, it got my head in the space where it needed to be, and it helped me solve a lot of problems. That's what I mean. So go see the movie. Don't expect too much other than really, really good music. If you know Bob Marley's music like I do, then you can appreciate that part. But if you don't know Bob Marley's music, go listen to a little bit of it, you know what I'm saying, on YouTube or wherever, and familiarize yourself with it. And get into it. And I'm telling you, if it don't have an effect on you, you know, well, you ain't listening with the right kind of attitude. But yeah, that's my take on the Bob Marley movie. I ain't gonna give you a full-blooded movie review because I ain't no movie critic. All I'm saying is they kept it basic, kept it simple. They focused on the assassination attempt. They did show him whoop that dude ass though. That dude Don Taylor, his manager. Apparently Bob had to get in his ass a couple of times, but that's all in the movie. Here's another thing before I close out. It's funny how back in the day in Jamaica, right, the producers was just as ruthless as Suge Knight or P. Diddy or any of them. Leor Cohen, any of them. That whole unscrupulous, ruthless, nasty ass producer thing, that's real. That's real. You know what I mean? And it's been around, it's been going on a long fucking time. But I digress from that point. Go watch the movie. It's pretty good. It's worth the Sunday afternoon to take and go check it out. But anyway, that's it for now, y'all. Thanks for coming by to check me out. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Hit that like button on your way out, please, and thank you. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will catch y'all on the next one. TC, and I'm out. Peace.